Okay, what is up, guys? I am Rich.
And I'm Tiffany.
And today we are in downtown Mount Dora shooting some video for some Christmas stuff later on. But before we did that, we kind of wanted to talk to you about something else. You've probably seen by the title. We went to Disney about a month ago. And when we came out of Disney, we was hot and heavy. We wanted to make a video about it, but then we started thinking about it and we was like, I don't know, because this video might make some people mad. Yeah, it might make some people mad, but you know, we decided when we started this channel, we was going to be truthful to all our experiences. So why are we worried about hurting a multi-billion dollar corporation's feelings? So let's get into it. I'm Rich.
And I'm Tiffany.
And this is How's My Living. All right, guys. Well, to start off, we don't want to say that we hate Disney. I'm born and raised Floridian. My great-great-great-great-grandparents is buried in a town just north of Orlando by about 45 miles who came over here from the old country. So, and they had annual passes to Disney. We've been annual pass holders for a long time. Before we really get into it, I just want to maybe we'll just explain our day and break it down piece by piece, and you guys can kind of see what's going on, because it's a lot to unpack here. A lot to unpack. So we wasn't originally planning on going to Disney. My cousin and his wife was here. Shout out to Saul and Shelby. And they kept harassing us, saying, let's go to Disney, let's go to Disney, let's go to Disney, because they have two little girls around the same age as Richard. They have two girls around the same age as him. And we finally said, okay, let's go. Well, when we went there, we decided the night before. And we woke up the next morning and we just went down there. And halfway down there, I was like, crap, we got to make reservations. Well, they was at one of the resorts, and we asked the people, maybe we should have worded it different, I don't know, but we said, can you still buy the tickets at the gate without making a reservation? The lady's like, sure, yeah, go. So we get to the ticket and transportation center and we walk up to buy our tickets, and we said, yeah, we want 2-day tickets for Walt Disney World, the Magic Kingdom. And the lady looks and she's like, what's your reservation? And we said, we don't have one. Well, she just went to are you serious? You don't have a reservation? Do you know that we do a reservation system? We're like, yeah, I'm sorry, but the person at the resort said it was fine. We just go, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have no idea how I'm gonna fit you in here today. And it's like, well, you either can or you can't. The attitude's not gonna switch either one.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, well, let me see. I gotta get my manager. And she just hauls back, and she's just walking back and forth and just telling us off. And we're like, okay, good start. And I can understand that, but Richard's playing underneath our feet during this whole time, right?
Yeah. So then I picked him up, and he's trying to talk to this lady, and the lady's like, oh, he's with you guys? And we're like, yeah. And she's like, well, you guys should have showed us him a long time ago. And we're like, why?
Okay. So you need a child to be treated like a human being here. Yeah. So that was great. We got our ticket. We get into the park. And by the time you get in the park, it's so crowded and congested. Everybody's like, well, what do you want to do first? What do you want to do first? And we said, well, let's go get something to eat. So we start walking around looking for something to eat. And we see this little place, and we're like, okay, here's a line. So we wait in line for 20 minutes. And we're like, okay, this is a long line. And I was at the Galaxy, where the robot plays the piano and all that in Tomorrowland. And the lady walks up and she's like, hey, this is for mobile pickup order. And we're like, we don't have mobile pickup. What is this? And she's like,
what do you speak of?
Yeah, what is this magic that you speak of? And she's like, oh, you got to order this on your phone. You can't order it in person. And I'm thinking, no, you can. You just don't want to take it. You can order in person. And that kind of drives me insane. Okay, Disney's supposed to be something that you absorb around you. But they're making it more and more where you got to look at your phone and do stuff with your phone. I want to rant about Genie Plus because they say you ain't never had a friend like me. That's because nobody wants a friend that nickels and dimes you to death.
Yeah.
That's why they call it Genie Plus, because you ain't never had a friend that'll nickel and dime you like Genie Plus does.
And keep you staring at your phone the whole day.
Yeah. So we walk over to the place just under the People Mover, right in the center of Tomorrowland. And we're like trying to put in our mobile order and all this, and this lady runs over to us while we're doing it. She's like, "Did you order any food yet?" And we're like, "No." But she ran over like, "Is there a doctor in the house?" Like that type of energy. And we're like, "No." And she's like, "Well, we're out of food. You can't order here." Dead serious. A guy walked next to me and right next to me said, "Well, what are we supposed to do now?" I don't know, Merv. There's 100 restaurants here.
What I don't understand is how do they run out of food? It was only like 11 o'clock. Like it wasn't even,
I don't know.
Time for lunch. It was 11 o'clock. Like, how do you run out of food that fast?
So now we're like migrating for food. We get into Fantasyland, and I walk up, and there's this place right on the other side of the carousel, and it's sitting there selling bratwurst and stuff like that. And they're like trying to figure it out. I said, "There's got to be a place in this park that you can talk to a human being to get food." I start wandering around, and we find a place that is right, the Pinocchio place. I looked at the lady and said, "Listen," I said, "Ma'am," I said, "I don't want to be on my phone and order food. I just want to order food like a normal person. I don't want to connect my credit card to Disney. I just want to eat food and move on with my life." And she's like, "Fine, just walk in there and order." So I walked in there and we ordered food.
People staring at us.
Yeah, people was like, "What are they doing?" So we get in there, and so keep in mind, this is the first place that we went into. And I don't listen to this is not a hint to our position on this. This is a hint to the hypocrisy of Disney. Before we walked into that park, we had to sign a release on COVID. You have to sign a COVID release before you walk in that park. Well, this is the first place we walked inside of. They jumped on us, "Put on your mask." And we're like, "Okay, don't bother us to put on a mask." But I want to bring this up because the story goes on, right? So we get our pizza and everything. Food's good. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Disney food is way better than Universal food.
Yeah, it is.
Disney has great food. They do. They just have great food. It is. When we're talking about Disney, keep this in mind. When we're talking about Disney, we're talking about the greatest theme park on the planet. We're not saying that theme park, this is like a terrible theme park. It's not makes us mad because why would you care if you don't want to go? Why would you care about any of this if you didn't want to go? You know what I mean? That's why people get so angry. You want to go. But we get there, we eat food, and then we said, "Hey, let's go ride. It's a Small World." So this is like my boys' first time on Small World, and we're super excited. So you walk down the line on the Small World, and you had a bunch of people in line just like chicken necking. Like seeing if they could, like, I don't know what they was doing, like trying to just find a way to get in front of you in line. Like it was like the line at Disney is like a battle. Like you're just like, "Get back, this is my spot." Right? I don't know how many people just told us like, "Hey," through the day, they're like, "My family's up there," and just cutting. Just going and finding a random place and just cutting, right? So we get in line and we go all the way down to the bottom. Well, the very bottom of It's a Small World, the line splits, right? So me and my cousins talking, and we wasn't paying attention, and we walked, two different lines. Well, we get there to the very end, and I get a tap on my shoulder, and this is a lady behind me, and she's like, "Hey, I notice your family's on the other side of the line." And we're like, "Yeah." She's like, "Do you want to get behind us so you guys can get together?" I was like, "No." He was behind them. Just let him in front of you. Why can't you just let them get behind us? It's like, "Listen, lady, we're all going to be on the same boat. What are you worried about?" She's like, "Just get behind us. They made a mistake." And I turn around and look at the employee, and the guy's just like,
It was an older couple. Not that they shouldn't get to enjoy themselves too, but we had a bunch of kids with us. Like, how are you really gonna put yourself in front of kids?
What difference did it make? Did they really have to move? If we looked up, they were standing right next to us on either side. But she was trying to find a way to cut us in line to be on the same boat as us.
Yeah.
Like, it made no difference. So we went and got on the ride. The kids loved it because it's a small world, and Ichard absolutely loved it, and it was absolutely amazing. That part was absolutely, you know, they say, every bit of the struggle's worth it to once you get to a certain point, and that's the way it felt right there. But the story rolls on. So afterwards, we said, let's go to the Haunted Mansion. So we go to the Haunted Mansion, right? And you know how you get in front of a line and you just kind of stand there for a minute to make sure that's what you want to do? Not in front of the queue, but in that direction. And like, we was waiting and just talking, and all of a sudden I hear a Disney employee say, "Put that selfie stick away. In Disney World, we consider that a weapon. We consider that a weapon here. Put it away or I'm taking it away." And I'm like, punching.
Yeah.
Knock his ass out. That was some energy, man. That was some energy, right?
That was intense.
Like, she just came hard. Like, and the guy's just sitting there like we are right now, just like taking a picture of his family. Just picture you're just like this. And you just hear death threats coming behind you with somebody with a name tag that can't point at you. They have to do this because this might be insulting, but they come at you like Ric Flair going for the title match. That was, my eyebrows is touching my hairline, like, ooh, whoa. So we're like, okay, that's cool. So we get in line. So we're waiting in line, and we get all the way inside. Well, my cousin's mask breaks, right? Like, while he's waiting, because, with ADD, you're always fidgeting with the mask. If you're not fidgeting with the mask, you're a saint. But you're always fidgeting with the mask, and it breaks when you go out of the elevator into where the loading station is. So he's sitting there holding it like this. And this guy walks out, and he's like, "Hey, put your mask on." And he's like, "Sir, mine's broke." He's like, "Then you and your party out of here." And I'm not being greedy. I love you, Saul, but I'm looking like, party? My mask is just fine. You know what I mean? But the guy wanted to kick all of us out. And my wife's sitting there, like, digging through her purse, trying to find an extra mask. Tiffany here, my wife. Yeah. She's like getting an extra mask. Wife. Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't there that day.
No.
But so she pulls out the mask, and it's covered in makeup, and he throws it on. And he's like, "Okay, you can go." But it was like another intense moment.
Yeah.
With a high level of stress.
Wait, you didn't tell them how they packed us into the room at first.
What room?
When we went on the Haunted Mansion, how they literally kept saying, "Move in, move in, move in," to that. Everybody was touching everybody. Like, I would never stand that close to anybody. How they had us all standing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you were literally breathing down each other's throats. Everybody's bodies was touching everybody. It was way too close for comfort. And they're like, "Move in, more, pack it in." And like, what's a mask gonna do when you're standing this close to somebody's face?
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. For the rest of the day, it seemed pretty cool. Like, we really had fun with Richard. Like, the people who say that, like, Disney is Disney, guys. It's a great place. You feel so accomplished. Like, okay, you don't have to bring your kids to Disney, but to see the happiness on their face is worth $1 million.
It is.
And Disney's working their way to that.
Yep.
I think it's ironic, right? Because we was watching an older Disney cartoon from like 5 or 6 years ago. It was a Christmas one here the other night. And it was about Mickey wanted to buy Minnie a present, and Minnie wanted to buy Mickey a present, and they couldn't afford it. And Mickey had a golden harmonica, and Minnie had a golden watch. And they didn't know that they did it, but they traded it in. Each one traded in. One Mickey traded in his gold harmonica for a necklace for her to put her watch on, and then she traded in the golden watch for the necklace, or for a harmonica case for him to have his harmonica in. And that was like, you know, it's like the new one came out this year, and it was about him vacationing in the French Alps.
Who tells you?
Just throwing that out there. Once it got to the end of the night, it was time for fireworks. And that was some cattle herding stuff, right? So they tape off all of Main Street, right? And they are doing you, packing you up, nipple to shoulder blade. When I tell you, they pack you in. No mask required. No mask required.
Because you're outdoors. So
yeah, because you're outdoors,
safe.
so all of a sudden it's safe to spit in each other's mouth. We was just sitting there, we found our little spot, and like people are bunched in to watch these fireworks. And all of a sudden, here we go again. I hear another guy screaming, going, "If you put your foot outside of that tape line again, you're watching these fireworks from outside the park." And I'm like looking at this guy like, are you serious right now? Somebody get this guy a cattle prod. Keep us in there, man. I mean, he's just like, shh, shh, shh. And like, it was like intense. Like when these people spoke, it was like intense. And it just like, I don't know, it sat weird with me. And then like after that, we was like, let's look at some toys and stuff. We wanted to get Richard something. And then I started learning why these people are like this. Because you ever watch one of them movies that's like, you think that's the bad guy, and then at the end of the movie, basically the Disney cast members was playing Professor Snape the entire time from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like they acted half mean, or like they hated everybody, but at the end of the day, you kind of realize why they did. So like, we're looking around the store, and this lady walks up. I'm looking at this big 50th anniversary, and people's like running to this stuff because it's limited edition. Can I tell you guys a secret? If you're coming to Disney, everything's limited edition. See, what happens is, I don't even want Tiffany to hear this. This is a secret. See, clothing brands call it seasonal. Disney calls it edition. That's limited. And the reason that you're not going to be able to get it next year is the same reason that you're not going to be able to get the same top from Hollister or Abercrombie next year. It's because they don't make it. But you, Karen, don't understand that. So you're rushing and grabbing everything and think everybody's going to steal something from you. Nobody likes you. I was standing there with my son looking at the 50th anniversary Disney Castle toy, just looking at it, see what it was about. And here this lady felt like a needle going into my shoulder. "Are you looking at that castle?" I was like, "Yeah." "Oh, are you gonna buy it?" I was like, "No, I'm just looking at it." "Well, can you move? Because I want to buy it." You know when you're walking down the street and somebody just said something and your blood point goes from like 0 to like 1,000,000, you're like, okay, I'm gonna punch somebody. So like I stepped in and I'm watching these people over Disney stuff. Do you guys remember when like Disney was just like Mickey Mouse ears? Like that's what you went and you got. That was your thing. You know, you might have got a t-shirt. But now people say, "Oh, the Spirit jerseys. The Spirit jerseys. Oh, I gotta give me a Spirit jersey. Oh, this is the pink Spirit jersey. Oh, I want this Spirit jersey." It's a shirt. It's not gonna be worth money someday. Because they made 1,000,000 of them. And you are too full of yourself to let it sit in the closet to be worth money, to air dry it, whatever, or vacuum seal it and put it up.
Yeah.
But you're willing to attack somebody for it. Here's the thing, guys. And I'm going to bring this all to a point right here, right? Disney is for families. Disney is for an experience. When I was growing up, I loved Disney. And you can ask any Floridian that had annual passes. Disney was a part of our life. But we've watched Disney change. Does that mean don't go to Disney? I would never, ever in a million years tell somebody not to go to Disney, because that's just Disney. It's an experience. But at the same time, you went there for your kids. When I went there, watching my boy on It's a Small World, watching my boy see Mickey come by on a cavalcade, that's like, okay, I'll just throw this out there. You used to be able to sit with the characters and hug them and stuff. And a cavalcade's like your car got repossessed, and every once in a while the tow truck drives by with it so you can see it.
Yeah.
That's what a cavalcade is. But
They're really not cool.
no. But you're right.
It's sad though. It really is sad though.
Yeah.
How you walk around and you literally can't see any characters. There's no characters walking around. And if they are, they're not walking around. They're behind some big thing with like a 20-foot thing blocking them in front of them. So the kids are like trying to climb over it and wave to them, and they're like a million miles away. Like, are you even sure like the kids can see you? Like, you're too far away, can't get.
And it's hard when you got a 2-year-old who
no
wants
pictures.
Yeah, you got a 2-year-old who wants to go up and see Mickey and hug Mickey, you know, and be with Mickey. And me as a little boy, I got to do that. Tiffany as a little girl, even though she was from Jersey, she got to do that. These two no-see-em flies that are flying here probably got to go see Mickey.
Probably.
But my boy can't, and that sucks. And it's way more expensive now. And people are absolutely terrible. And I don't care if you say, oh, they're this way with the mask mandates or this way with the mask or this. No, it's the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make any sense. We signed a waiver, and I don't want to make anybody sick. But I also don't want to be treated like a dog.
No.
And I also don't want to be treated like I'm stupid.
The thing is prices went up and experience went down.
It did.
It's still magical. It's always going to be magical. It's Disney.
Yeah.
But prices went up and experience went down. You don't get to do half the things you used to be able to do.
No. But that's why we focus so much on our channel. That's why we focus so much on trying to show you other things around Orlando. Because Disney is not it. Right now we're in Mount Dora, and if you go to our videos, you'll see a lot of videos about Mount Dora. Because we are not about how much you can spend to have fun with your family. We're about that experience with your family. You know, we want everybody to have a good time. And Disney right now, I would say, is really kind of not that place.
No.
It's like, it's not. It's very stressful if the cast members aren't, and I don't blame it. And cast members, if you're watching this, you probably already shut this off as far as
Yeah.
I don't blame you guys. You're being put on a very particular set of rules that's not fair.
No. You could tell they're stressed. Like, that's half the reason they're so, like, tense and intense when they interact with you. But it's not their fault. It's the rules that corporate or whoever's putting down on them and telling them how to act and how to be, but it's impossible. You can't do it the way they're expected to do it.
Yeah, it's really, really crazy. And guys, that's all we got. I know we kind of dragged on a little bit longer than what we normally do, and it's not like all the fancy B-roll and stuff. I'll show you a picture of a babbling brook, but you probably heard it the whole time in the background. But guys, if you want to see some of our other videos where we show you some really fun things to do, check it out. Go through. We got tons of cool playlists for the whole family. But that was our 2 cents on Disney. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. If you
Hopefully if you go, you have a better experience with cast members and lines and crazy people cutting lines.
Our experience and your experience could be completely 2 different things. We're not guaranteeing that that's what it's going to be, but it could be yours.
Yeah.
But we're done, guys. I'm Rich.
And I'm Tiffany.
And we'll see you next time on How's My Living.